Hey guys, it's PokeDude,
And I'm Misaki.
and welcome to a brand new series, 50 Things You Didn't Know About the Servants of Fate Grand Order. Basically, we're going to go through obscure trivia about each servant one at a time. Now, I of course have to give the disclaimer, obscure is a relative term. If you're a veteran of the series, chances are you know at least a few of these things. But I tried to find facts that the average FGO player might not know, and I think even experts will be surprised by a few things. With that, let's get started. Number 1, MASH. She's a reworking of a character named Tachie, who was originally going to appear in the 2006 anime adaptation of Fate Stay Night.
Number 2, Artoria. Being part dragon, her Ahoge is actually a dragon's reverse scale. That is why removing it causes her to change into her alter form.
Number 3, Saber Alter. While she canonically doesn't have an Ahoge, she does appear with one briefly in Fate Stay Night.
Number 4, Saber Lily. In her first appearance in Fate Unlimited Codes, she wielded Excalibur instead of Caliburn. This was most likely due to the devs not wanting to model a new sword, since she was just an alternate costume for Saber. Official art released alongside the game does show her wielding Caliburn.
Number 5, Nero. According to the official English release of Fate Extra, she fought lions while naked. This is, however, a mistranslation. What the dialogue should have said was that she put a lion in a rear naked chokehold, which is a wrestling move.
No, I think I like that mistranslation better. Number 6, Siegfried. This one is well known by FGO veterans, but newer players may not be aware that Siegfried is known for apologizing a lot. Not because of his personality, but simply because his portrait art makes it look like he's bowing. This was referenced a lot in early events.
Number 7, Caesar. His artist once drew art of him with muscles, perhaps the ideal version that Cleopatra wants to see.
Do you think that version's ever going to be added to the game?
Probably not, but it would be funny.
Darn. Number 8, Altera. Her hair is actually pretty short, but it's hard to see because it blends in with the veil she's always wearing.
Number 9, Gilderay, Saber. He's the first non-berserker servant to possess the Madness Enhancement skill.
Number 10, Chevalier Daon. They were originally available in the tutorial summoning pool at launch, but got removed when more 4-star servants were added to it later on.
Number 11, Emiya. He became a Counterforce Guardian when he needed the world's help to stop a nuclear reactor from melting down and saving the people inside.
Number 12, Gilgamesh. He's a chess master, being the only inhabitant of the far side of the moon who was able to consistently beat Rani VIII in a match.
Number 13, Robin Hood. In his third ascension, he's accompanied by Robin, a bird familiar owned by Alice Koonji from Witch on the Holy Night. The reason for this is unknown.
Number 14, Atalante. Before her debut in Fate Apocrypha, she was first mentioned in Fate Extra as one of the 128 servants participating in the Holy Grail War.
Number 15, Uriel. In her original appearance in Fate Hollow Ataraxia, she looks completely indistinguishable from her sister Seno, as opposed to an FGO where they have subtle differences in their outfits.
Number 16, Arash. When he appears as an enemy in FGO, he doesn't normally use his Noble Phantasm. He either won't have a gauge, or he will simply use his extra attack when he is at full charge.
Number 17, Kukulin. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. He has appeared in every commercially sold Fate video game to date, being the only servant to have this distinction.
Number 18, Elizabeth Bathory. She is the only servant who has canonically seen Gilgamesh's holy sword on screen.
Number 19, Benkei. His first appearance was in Capsule Servant, a tower defense minigame in the remastered version of Fate Hollow Ataraxia.
Number 20, Kukulin Prototype. He uses the green spear in his first and second ascensions because his master in Fate Prototype sealed Gaebolg and made him fight without his Noble Phantasm.
Number 21, Leonidas. He has a crippling fear of ghosts.
Of all the things.
Yep.
Number 22, Romulus. His artist, Hirokazu Koyama, was tasked with designing him after specifically requesting to draw muscles.
Number 23, Medusa. She has had romantic and/or sexual relationships with 4 different masters throughout the series: Shiro, Sakura, Hakuno, and Gura.
I love how there's no mention of Shinji.
Yeah.
Number 24, Georgios. He was originally planned to appear in Fate Apocrypha alongside Benkei, David, and Kintoki.
All of them ended up getting removed for one reason or another during the script writing. Number 25, Blackbeard. He was apparently married at one point, but doesn't remember to whom. Digging into real-world history, he is alleged to have married a girl named Mary Ormond, but there is no legal documentation supporting it.
Number 26, Boudica. There's an official design for an outer form of her in the Tourist Realta manga. Somehow, it's even more revealing than her first Ascension outfit.
Number 27, Ushiwaka Maru. She was the only female servant to have the Loved One trait upon Brunhilde's release, and remained that way until the release of Lost Belt 3 with Qin Liang Yu.
I wonder why for that one.
Good question. that trait is very odd.
Number 28, Alexander. He was the first of shockingly few riders to use a normal horse for his noble phantasm.
Number 29, Marie Antoinette. She was the first servant to have her April Fool's portrait art appear in-game since Year 1, making its return in the Mississippi Mythicizers event.
Number 30, Martha. It's hard to see because of the curve of her chest, but the cutout on her outfit is in the shape of a cross.
Number 31, Medea. Original master Atrum Galeasta never appeared in the original Fate Stay Night visual novel, and very few details are shared until his appearance in later works, such as the anime adaptation of Unlimited Blade Works.
Number 32, Gilles Castor. Thanks to his battle against Artoria in Fate Zero, she now has a fear of octopuses, and presumably anything with tentacles.
Number 33, Hans Christian Andersen. As a result of his innocent monster skill deriving elements from his stories, his legs are covered in fish scales and his arms are covered in burns.
Number 34, William Shakespeare. His Bond craft essence is really convenient. No, really, that's what it's called. It's not a bad one for a support unit either.
Number 35, Mephistopheles. His horns are part of his hat rather than his head. He can be seen without them in art for certain craft essences.
Number 36, Amadeus. He was a candidate to become demon god Amdusias, but was not selected because he had already sold his soul to music.
Number 37, Waver. His second interlude is the only one to date that gives you a craft essence as a clear reward.
Number 38, Cuchulainn Castor. As of the time of recording, he is the only servant besides Mash who has received a skill upgrade through main story progression.
Number 39, Sasaki Kojiro. In Fate Stay Night, he is bound to the Ryudo Temple grounds. However, he was able to leave just once when Medea bound him to Kuzuki's glasses instead during their story in Fate Holotraxia's Hanafuda minigame.
Number 40, Hasana the Cursed Arm. In the Chinese version of FGO, his second Ascension card art was censored with a hood covering his face and upper torso.
I am unclear as to whether or not his third Ascension was also censored or if it just doesn't exist. Number 41, Steno. Currently, she is the only standard class servant in the game whose third append skill grants a damage bonus for the class that they already hold an advantage against.
Number 42, Jinke. Her artist made the decision to expose her thighs because she is said to have been slashed there by Qin Shi Huang during her attempt to assassinate him.
Number 43, Charles Henry Sanson. He is the first servant summoned by Gouda to canonically die in the main story.
Number 44, Phantom of the Opera. His interlude was the first to include a servant other than the featured one who was allegedly summoned by Gouda. Early on in the game's life, these stories didn't want to assume that you had summoned every servant, and were always solo adventures as a result.
Number 45, Matahari. At launch, her Bondcraft Essence's description had poor grammar and formatting. This was updated much later on, but is still awkwardly worded to this day.
Number 46, Carmilla. Her interlude was the first time Gouda visited Castle Chete, before it got a proper introduction during the first Halloween event.
Number 47, Heracles. Throughout the entire franchise, he has spoken just 3 times. The first is well known. After losing to Shiro and Saber in the Fate route in Fate Stay Night, he's amazed that they were able to kill him 7 times with a single blow. The second, and I'm totally not recording this on a different day because I forgot about it or anything, is in the Heaven's Feel movie. After Shiro defeats him with 9 Lives Blade Works, he regains his sanity for a moment and tells him to protect Ilya. Interestingly, this is only in the movie. In the visual novel, he says it with his eyes. As for the third, it was in Fate Tiger Coliseum. During his story in that game, he regains his sanity and becomes Ilya's butler. Can someone please translate this game? I really want to play it on the channel.
Same. Number 48, Lancelot Berserker. At the time of recording, he has never appeared on a craft essence, nor has his face ever been shown within FGO.
Seems the devs prefer Saber Lancelot. Number 49, Lu Bu. 2 of his early design concepts would have had him as a half-horse, half-human centaur or a mech. This may have been the inspiration for Red Hair's or Zhang Yu's designs later on.
Number 50, Spartacus. Servant Summer Camp was not the first time he appeared as a producer. He first took on this role during a Type Moon April Fool's prank back in 2015. I wonder why they chose him as a producer of all things.
That is a good question. Alright, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Join us next time when we cover another batch of 50 servants. Is Tamamo really a fox? Stay tuned to find out. Later.
See ya!